गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। सो बच्चों आज हम गुड इवनिंग यस। सो बच्चों आज हम कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं। वी आर कंटिन्यूइंग विद आवर सेकेंड यूनिट ऑफ द फर्स्ट चैप्टर, दैट इज determination of equilibrium income in four sector model, right? So we have so far discussed two sector model, three sector model, and now today we will cover a four sector model, right? And after that we will start our second unit. So as we have discussed that in two sector model there are only two sectors, namely household and firms, right? And in three sector models there are household, firms and government. And in three sector models, that is government sector, we have discussed three cases. First, when there is constant tax rate, right? Let's see. Three or four cases, sorry. First one, where there is a taxes by the government is taken as a lump sum taxes, right? This one, and we have done this. Yes, four cases. We have discussed these four cases, beta. First one was determination income with lump sum taxes, where we taken the taxes as a T, capital T, which stands for constant tax, right? We can cover these question. पहले हम इनके numericals देख लेते हैं. Then we will continue for the four sector model. And for the two sector model, we have already discussed the questions, right? See, suppose we have illustration 13. Suppose we have consumption functions. वो कह रहे about a simple economy. Consumption function is given 10 plus 0.75 YD. YD this means disposable income. I investment is constant 50. G equal to tax. Both are equal to 20. G equal to T means government spendings and taxes are 20. Where C is consumption, right? ये सब given है. Find out the equilibrium level of income. Then what is the size of multiplier? वो हमें वो भी cover करना है, right? फटाफट से देखते हैं. Okay, we have covered on three cases only. Okay, will cover in numerically, right? So first of all, we are solving this illustration 13. See. In illustration 13, consumption function is given, which is C is equal to 10 plus 0.75 YD. G and T both are 20. And I, that is called investment. Right, investment is 50. Now, the first part of the question is find the equilibrium level. What is equilibrium, बच्चों? AD is equal to Y. AD is in three sector model C plus I plus G. C का function हमें given है. Put the value 10 plus 0.75 YD plus I given है 50 plus G given है 20 is equal to Y. Now disposable income. Here this is the case of only taxes and that is lump sum tax, right? And that lump sum tax is 20. This is the first case. So put the value of YD. YD की value क्या होगी बच्चों? 0.75 Y minus taxes. What is the value of taxes? 20. Simple. Just to put the values, you need not to learn the final formula. Just put down the value, learn the equations. You will get the answer very easily, bache. In a very simple, this is a very simple questions and you can score full marks in this. Total 50 plus 20, 70 plus 10, 80. 80 plus, open up the bracket, 0.75y minus 0.75 into 20, right? 15. That will be 15. 75% of 20, that is 15. Now 80 minus 15, 65. Y minus 0.75y, that is 0.25y. 65. 65 divided by 0.25. 65 divided by 0.25. You will get 260. The answer is 260. So equilibrium level of income we get 260. Right, absolutely. Bhumika, Gaurav, very good. So answer is 260, right? Now you have to find the multiplier also, investment multiplier. What was the formula of investment multiplier बच्चों? अगर learn किसी को याद है तो बताओ फटाफट से. And one formula was delta y upon delta I, but that formula we cannot use here because there is not given change in income, change in investment, right? The other formula we can use is, the second formula we can use is 1 upon 1 minus MPC. Is it or not, bachcho? 1 upon 1 minus MPC. So K, investment multiplier is what बेटा कोमल देखो फटाफट से the value of 260 ये पता चल गया. Have you got this कि how this value calculated? Simply putting the value of all these C plus I plus G. This is the right. So हमने वैल्यू पुट कर दी. C की जगह फंक्शन क्वेश्चन में ऑलरेडी गिवन है 10 plus 0.75 YD plus G plus I 50 plus G 20 is equal to Y. Then put the value of YD. YD is disposable income. और here disposable income is Y minus T. बताया था ना आपको taxes pay करके जो आएगा that will be. So Y minus taxes 20. Solve this for the value of Y, that is 260. Now in second question, second part, we have to calculate investment multiplier. What is the formula? 1 upon 1 minus MPC. Now बच्चों मुझे बताओ इस इक्वेशन को देख के जो कंजम्पशन वाली इक्वेशन है, राइट, कंजम्पशन वाली इक्वेशन को देख के बताओ कि व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ MPC. MPC is 0.75. MPC is 0.75 बिकॉज यहाँ पर क्या होता है, B होता है ना, A plus BYD, तो B is MPC, तो MPC is 0.75. Now put the value here. So K will be 1 upon 1 minus 0.75, that is 1 upon 0.25, that is 100 upon 25, that is equal to 4. Very good. किसने लिखा है ये आंसर यहाँ पे दिया है? Great. हिमांशु, दीक्षा, good. Jia, very good. So this is the answer, right? Now I think आप सबको समझ में आ गया. बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चंस है. You can easily do it. Now let us move to the second case, was the lump sum tax and transfer payment. So in case of lump sum tax transfer payment, we get disposable income. In this case, second case, disposable income क्या होगी? This one. YD is equal to Y minus T. T stands for बच्चों taxes, lump sum taxes, right? And TR transfers. Why TR is added? देखो, what is disposable income? Disposable income is that income which is actually the people have to spend, right? Actually they have to spend. So how we derive at the disposable income? By subtracting taxes paid to the government by the people from the national income, because taxes is a compulsory payment. After paying taxes, whatever we left we can dispose it off as we like. But there are some transfer payments made by government to the people in the form of subsidies, in the form of old age pension, scholarships, right? So these transfers also added to the income of the people. So it will be added, right? Is it clear, bachcho? Or there is any doubt you can ask right now. Sanjay is asking transfer payment like pension we receive from government. Yes, old age pension. Yes, old age pension. The old people get the pension from the government, right? So सिंपल वाईडी की जगह पर हम इसको प्लस तो क्या करेंगे वाईडी इज इक्वल टू वाई माइनस टैक्सेस प्लस ट्रांसफर दिस इज द केस बस नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू कवर इलिस्ट्रेशन 14 illustration 14 consumption is 100 plus 0.75 yd I is equal to 200 g and t both are 100 transfers 50 now simply put the value you will get the answer right you have to find the equilibrium level of income here only. So what will be the equilibrium level of income? See. Illustration 14 बच्चों. Consumption function is 100 plus 0.75 yd. I investment is given 200 G and T 100. And transfers given by 50. Now simply what Swati I am totally telling in English beta. I am explaining in English only, na? So this is the formula, but the formula was disposable income is equal to income that is national income minus taxes what we paid to the government, right? After that, some people get the transfer income from the government, right, in the form of old age pension, scholarship, and subsidies. They will also add it to the income and become the disposable income. Now, listen, the simple formula AD is equal to every question will start from this formula, beta. Every question will start from this formula to calculate the national equilibrium level of income. AD is equal to Y. Just put the value of AD in three sector model C plus I plus G, right? Now put the equation of C consumption equation is 100 plus 0.75 Y 75 YD plus investment 200 plus government spending 100 is equal to Y. Now put the value of YD. YD का value क्या हो जाएगी disposable income Y minus taxes. Taxes are 100 plus transfers. Transfers are 50 plus 200 plus 100 300, right? Now 300 plus 100 400. 0.75 Y minus 50 minus 100 plus 50 minus 50 is equal to Y. 400 plus 0.75 Y minus 75% of 50, right? That will be 37.5. So 400 minus 37.5. 362.5. Y minus 0.75 Y, that is 0.25 Y. The 362.5 divided by 0.25. 1450. So equilibrium level of income is 1450. Right? So this is the answer. Is it clear, bachcho? If you have any doubt, You can ask, right? Now we can go to the third case, bachche. What is the third case? In three sector model, the third case is income determination with taxes as a function of income. As a function of income. I have already explained you कि in the first and second cases we have taken taxes as a lump sum taxes, right? Constant. But in actual life, in real life, taxes are not always constant. Taxes are not always constant, but taxes are function of income. Taxes are function of income, right? And some part of taxes is here we can take taxes as a because they go in real life. In real life, there are some taxes, some part of taxes what we pay to the government is a autonomous taxes which are constant and some part is depends on the income. For example, income tax, just like income tax. So income tax is a tax which we pay to the government which depends on the value of income. Say if tax rate in any economy, say tax rate in any economy, right? If tax rate in any economy is say 30%. So 30% of what income. So if one person has an income of 1 lakh, then 30% of that, 2 lakh, 30% of that. So as the income increases, the percentage is same, but the value will. So tax as a function of income will be considered as some part of the autonomous T bar and plus T y. T here is small t here denote tax rate. I have already told you small t here denote tax rate. Now other things rest are same. See, illustration 15. We are going to cover illustration 15. You will get the idea of the tax as a function of income, right? See, in illustration 15, we have given closed economy because there is no rest of the world export import. So it is a also closed economy. Consumption function 75 plus 0.5 y minus t. Here it is given already y minus t. So here transfers payments are not given. So disposable income here. So see in question you have already given this thing. So you can write y is equal to 75 plus C is equal to C is equal to 75 plus 0.75 y minus t, right? Y minus t. This is disposable income. उसने खुद ही उसको expand करके दे दिया, right? Now see what the other things are given. Investment I is equal to 80. Total tax T is equal to 25 plus 0.1 y. It means 25 plus 0.1 y means 25 is a autonomous tax हो गया, that is T bar, and plus tax rate T is 0.1 10% and y. This is the form, right? T bar plus T bar. I is given, right? Now what is G here? G is given 100. Now, first part is find the equilibrium level. What is the starting point of every question, bachcho? AD is equal to Y. AD is equal to in three sector model C plus I plus G. C is given 75 plus 0.75 Y minus T. What is the value of T given? Y minus T, and the value of T is given 25 plus 0.1 Y, right? Plus I. I is given 80. I is given 80 plus G is given 100 is equal to Y. Solve this. 180 plus 75, 255. No? Right. 255. Now 0.75 Y minus 25 minus 0.1 Y is equal to Y. Here also equals to Y. 0.5, not 0.75. Let me see which. Yes, sorry. It is 0.5, beta. My mistake. Yes, it is 0.5. See, now 255 plus 0.5 Y minus 0.1 Y. It will be 0.9 Y minus 25 is equal to Y. Open up the bracket. 255 plus 0.9 into 0.5. 0.45 Y minus 12.5 Y. 255 minus 12.5, that is 252. 12.5, no? 242.5. Y minus 0.45, 0.55 Y. 242.5 divided by 0.55. It is 440.909, or you can write it 91 also, right? So this is equilibrium level of income. And in second part, you have to also find again multiplier, investment multiplier. What is the formula? 1 upon 1 minus MPC. What is MPC here, bachcho? MPC is 0.5. This is MPC, na B is 0.5. So K is equal to 1 upon 1 minus 0.5. That is 1 upon 0.5. Right? That is 10 by 5. 10 by 5, that is 2. So investment multiplier is 2. Is it clear, bachcho? Is there any doubt? You can ask right now. right? Pranav is saying, but tax factor is also there. It should be adjusted first. What should be adjusted first? Okay. Yes, tax is also given, na? Right, 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 right. See, here the value of multiplier will be different. I forget that there is tax factor is also given, na? So this should be rectified better. If the tax is functional rate, tax rate is given. याद रखो, there will be a little bit change will be the change in the formula. If functional tax rate is given, functional means a tax rate ये लिख देते हैं इसको, tax rate. If tax rate is given, not constant tax beta, autonomous tax is nahi. Yes, the answer is differ. Why? बताता हूँ. If tax rate is given, tax rate is given, that is T, then there will be change in the value of K. 1 upon 1 minus B into formula will be 1 minus T. Why this, sir? Why this? See, whenever, yes, Bhumika, I forgot the tax rate there, right? So now see, you can write it with and I am explaining here why we are using this formula. See, earlier when we in simple model, we took the formula K upon me 1 minus MPC. I have already explained you the derivation of this formula also, right? In last session, I have already explained you the derivation of this formula, right? But in that case, we have taken the simple two-sector model, right? When we derived this formula, we have taken simple two-sector model where there was no government, no taxes, no transfer payments, no rest of the world import export. That was the simplest form. But here the tax rate is given. So B is the, what is B bache? What is B? B is MPC, na? And MPC means marginal propensity to consume, and that is equal to delta C upon delta Y. It means whatever the change in the consumption, whatever the change in income, उसका multiplier जो change होगा, that is B. So income में जो change आएगा, what is the change in income? This change will be after tax. This should be after tax ना. So after tax लेने के लिए MPC, for example, इसको ऐसे देखते हैं. For example, if there is a change in income, see बच्चे बहुत ध्यान से देखेंगे, मैं इधर बता रहा हूँ इसको. If still it is not clear, then I will explain you again. See, if there is change in income, that is equal to 100, right? Change in income is equal to 100. Now, if MPC is, say, 5%, 50%, what is the case? Say 50%. Now, if there is change in income by 100 rupees and the tax rate is 0.1 of Y, 0.1 of 10% of Y. Tax rate is given 10% of Y as the case is. So I am taking it as an example. So whatever the change in income, see बच्चे बहुत ध्यान से देखना, whatever the change in income, it's 10% tax is given to the government and remaining 90% income will be the disposable income, right? But in that case, when we derive that formula, listen very carefully, bache. When we derive this formula, we have taken the simple case of two sector model closed economy, right? In that case, आपको याद होगा, I have told you कि in two sector model y is equal to yd, y and disposable income are the same thing because there are no taxes, no transfer, no rest of the world. But here the disposable income is different, and whatever you are expending, that yeah spending, that is depends on your disposable income. So after deducting the tax, if income is 1 rupee and 10% of that income is subtracted, that will be less 90%. That 90% का 50% आप spend करेंगे. Is it clear or not, बच्चा? Reason for multiplier change is because t is not given. T is given, बच्चे, but tax is not constant, na? Total tax is not constant. Here is the part of functional tax, that is the depend on income, that is change. Tax rate is given, right? Yes, it is due to tax rate is given, right? So whenever the tax rate is given, your disposable income will change. Your disposable income will change, right? Is it clear to all of you, bache? Why this formula is to be used? Because whatever the change in income, you will spend MPC, marginal propensity to consume, on the part of disposable income. And what the disposable income is? 1 minus T after taxes. So this formula will be used. In that case, K is equal to 1 minus what was B, 0.5, and 1 minus 0.1, that is 90%. 1 upon 1 minus 0.5 into 0.9, that is 1 upon 45, then 0.55, 1 divided by 0.55, that will be 1.81882, you can say. So here the value of investment multiplier fall, right? Why fall? Because you have to get this. Pranav is saying, sir, if transfer payment is also given in percentage, then that should also be added from. Yes, that should also be added, but here is no case of functional or variable transfer payment in your syllabus, right? In your syllabus, transfer payment is taken to be the constant. So you need not to be worried that transfer payment may be variable. It will be given in the form of constant, right? Yes. Yes, Bhumika, to get income after tax, we will subtract tax rate. Very good. So disposable income is income after tax, right? So it is 1.82. Is it clear, bachcho? So B into 1 minus T. That will be, what is 1 minus T? Beta T is the taxes, na? So if the income is 1 rupee and tax rate is 10%, then after paying 10% tax, you will get 90% of income, and the 50% of that 90% of income will be propensity to consume will be applied, right? Now go to the fourth case. What is the fourth case? Here transfer is also given. In fourth case, determination when tax is a function of the income, government expenditure and transfer. सारी चीजें given है इसमें. Here government भी transfers are given. ठीक. So in fourth case, the case is where government expenditure G is given, transfers constant are given, and tax is a function of income. Now put the formula. Yes, yes, Krishna, ये formula तभी लगेगा when tax rate is given, right? Where taxes are constant, like in second case, taxes are constant, then no need to apply. Then formula will be 1 upon 1 minus MPC. When tax rate is given, then you have to find out the disposable income after subtracting tax rate. No, no use in any case. There also they go. In 16 illustration, tax is given 0.1y. Tax rate is 10%. This is the tax rate. Again, to here he is not saying to calculate multiplier, but if said, then you will take this same formula as applied in illustration 15. Now we are going to do the illustration 16 बच्चों. See, in illustration 16, consumption function 100 plus 0.8. What is 0.8 here? B, marginal propensity to consume, into y minus t plus transfer, already given in the question. This is the disposable income. Y minus t plus transfer. This is disposable income. This is the consumption function. I is given 200 constant. G is also given 100 constant. TR 50. You have to find. And what is the tax, sir? Tax rate. Tax is also given the function of income 25 plus 0.1y. So it means what is 25 here, sir? 25 here is T bar, that is autonomous tax, lump sum tax 25, and 0.1 is tax rate T and Y. Right? Now simply put the formula in the equation. What is the starting point of every solution? I have told you AD is equal to Y. Just start the question from this. AD is equal to Y. AD is C plus I plus G is equal to Y. C, put the value of C 100 plus 0.8 y minus tax. What is the value of tax given here? 25 plus 0.1 y plus transfer. What is transfer here? 50 plus I. C plus I. I is 200. G is 100 is equal to y. Is it clear, बच्चों? Now solve the equation. 100, 200, 300, 400. That is 400. 0.8, open up the bracket, y minus, पहले इनर ब्रैकेट सॉल्व करेंगे फिर बाहर वाला, y minus 25 minus 0.1 y plus 50 is equal to y. Is equal to y. Now see, 400 plus 0.8 y minus 0.1 y 0.9 y minus 25 plus 50 plus 25. Open the bracket. 400 plus 0.72 y plus 0.8 into 25, that is 20. 420 y minus 0.72 y. So 420 . right? 0.28y. 420 divided by 0.28. 1500. So 1500 will be the equilibrium level of income. What are you saying? कृष्णा इज आस्किंग सर इसमें पहले हमें 0.8 लिखा है कि वैल्यू में और बाद में 200 ऐसा क्यों लिया है? अच्छा, इसलिए बेटा बिकॉज दिस वन इज ऑल कंजम्पशन फंक्शन, ये पूरा कंजम्पशन फंक्शन है। तो पहले आप कंजम्पशन को पूरा लिखोगे देन यू विल ऐड द आई ना, या तो आई को बिल्कुल ही स्टार्टिंग में लिख दो। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू विल टेक कंप्लीट द कंजम्पशन फंक्शन, आफ्टर दैट यू विल टेक द इन्वेस्टमेंट, आफ्टर दैट यू विल टेक द गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग्स। इज इट क्लियर? आई 200 दिया है क्वेश्चन में। सो जी यस, तो आई हमने 200 ही लिया है बेटा। Investment we have taken 200 and government spending we have taken 100 na, and this whole is completed is consumption C. Is it clear कृष्णा? समझ में आया बेटा कृष्णा? दोबारा बताऊं, ये यहां से लेके 100 से लेके यहाँ पूरा तक ये पूरा कंजम्पशन फंक्शन है। कैसे? C की वैल्यू पुट करी ना हमने कंजम्पशन में, 100 प्लस 0.8 y माइनस टी, टी का फंक्शन डाल दिया प्लस टी आर, ये होगा राइट। गुड, सो दिस इज द आंसर। Now we can move to the four sector model. We will move to the four sector model, bachcha. What is the four sector model? See, I have already told you in four sector model. In four sector model, there are four sectors, namely household, firms, government, and the fourth one is foreign sector, which is also called rest of the world. Foreign sector, or it is called rest of the world, right? In four sector model, the equation will be one more thing will be added to the aggregate demand. First of all, we can see this flow chart. With the help of this flow chart, you can easily see how the income rotate from one sector to another, right? See, here is a four sector. First one is this is these three sectors are given in a straight line: business, government, households. This is the rest of the world, right? So देखो बाकी जो थ्री सेक्टर्स का था वो तो सेम रहेगा, as the three sector was in previous case that was same. But rest of the world में क्या होता है? Rest of the world में from the rest of the world import export. From where import export are done? Import export done from the product market, and through product market the from the rest of the world the goods are being exported or imported, right? And one thing more, factor market. From factor market, net capital inflow means foreign companies are also invested in the country. So if foreign companies invest in our country, they will invest the money into the factor market, because they will set up their MNCs here, they will set up their business here, so they will came up with the capital flow. Then why it is said net capital flow, sir? Net capital inflow, because capital inflow minus outflow. What is the meaning of net capital inflow here from the rest of the world? Net capital inflow means capital inflow minus capital outflow, because some foreign companies will invest in India in our factor market. So some Indian companies will also go to the outside the country. So what is the difference between capital inflow and capital outflow? That will be net capital inflow. It may be positive or may be negative. Is it clear, बच्चों? Only this sector is rest. So different बाकी all other things are absolutely same as the case of three sector model. Is it clear, or there is anyone having doubt? You can ask, बच्चों. So now what is in case of practical questions, in numerical questions, just one more thing will be added to the aggregate demand function. What is this? See here. In four sector model, yes, yes, Jaspreet, you are asking, sir, please again explain the net capital inflow. Yes, see here again, beta. What is the meaning of net capital inflow, sir? See, net capital inflow from rest of the world to factor market. What is factor market, beta? Factor market means here labor, land, capital, right? All these things are covered. So no, Geet, it is not same thing, beta. Geet is saying capital inflow means net factor income from abroad. No, net factor income from abroad is the difference between factor income from abroad to abroad. And whenever you take the factor income, you take here labor income from all the factors, that is wages, interest, capital, profit. But here we are taking only capital inflow. Capital inflow means investment. So what is the difference? What is the meaning of net capital inflow? It means when foreign companies, अब पहले इंग्लिश में बता देता हूँ फिर हिंदी में भी एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगा, राइट? सो some students are asking to explain in Hindi. So पहले इंग्लिश में बता रहा हूँ, please listen carefully. Some foreign companies invest in our domestic economy, in our market, in the form of MNCs, multinational corporations. So whenever these companies came to our country and they set up their business, they will invest here. So they bring the capital with them, right? तो वो अपने साथ जो capital ला रहे हैं, that capital what they bring is capital inflow. And similarly, some Indian companies, some domestic companies will go to rest of the other countries outside the country and will set up their business. So that will be the capital outflow, right? So what the foreign companies came in India in our domestic economy with their capital, that is capital inflow. And what our domestic companies go abroad and invest there and uh, take out the money, take out the capital, that is capital outflow. And what is the difference between capital inflow minus outflow? That is net capital inflow. This net capital inflow may be positive or negative. May be positive or negative because if capital inflow is greater than capital outflow, it will be positive. If capital inflow is less than capital outflow, it may be negative. Is it clear, बच्चों? हिंदी में बता देता हूँ. नेट कैपिटल इनफ्लो का मतलब होता है कि जो फॉरेन की कंपनीज इंडिया में आती हैं, यहाँ पर अपना बिजनेस लगाती है, तो अपने साथ कुछ कैपिटल पूंजी लेके आएंगी इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए, वो होगा कैपिटल इनफ्लो. और जब कुछ इंडियन कंपनीज बाहर जाएंगी, दे विल स्पेंड देयर मनी, वो अपनी कैपिटल बाहर लेके जाएंगी, वो कैपिटल आउटफ्लो, उसका जो डिफरेंस है दैट इज कॉल्ड नेट कैपिटल इनफ्लो. इज इट क्लियर बच्चों? इज स्टिल देयर एनी डाउट? यू कैन आस्क बेटा. Or is it clear? Then we can move ahead. Right? So Jaspreet, is it clear? Geet, is it clear beta ki net capital inflow and net factor income from abroad are two different things? Mohammed is asking, sir, why there is not any factor services given by household to business? Factor services are given by household to business, beta. देखो, factors, how the factor services are given? The factor services are given through the factor market. So in this diagram, they do not represent it as directly. It is from the factor market, right? From the factor market. So business firms are paying the factor payment to the households, na? So when the business firms are paying factor payment to the household, why they are paying for to the household? Because the household are providing to the factor service, right? So this is, if we take both the things, there will be so much arrows and it will be hodgepodge. So by using the minimum arrows, we can explain this, right? Is it clear? Yes. Yes, Shazia, net capital inflow can be zero. Yes, it can be zero. If both capital inflow and outflow are same, that it may be zero also. Right. Good. So now we are going to cover the questions. इसका मैं पहले equation यहाँ पर बता देता हूँ. How to derive the equation in a 4-sector model. Then we will solve the illustrations. Listen. In 4-sector model, which is also called open economy. Which is also called open economy. So here the initial formula, equation will be same. The equilibrium level of income is where AD is equal to Y. That will not change in any type of economy, right? See, here the equilibrium level of income where AD is equal to Y. What is AD? AD will be C plus I plus G plus NX. NX stands for net export. I will write it here, right? Is equal to Y. This will be the equation, right? Now see, here net export, NX stands for net export. And how the net export is derived, we have learned it in the last chapter, last unit. Net export is export minus import. EX EM लिख सकते हैं आप इसको शॉर्ट में. EX export, IM import. Export minus import. That is net export, right? The rest things will be same, beta. Rest things will be same. There will be no change in other. For example, if we are taking the case of, पहला हो गया जैसे हमने पढ़ा था case of lump sum tax. If you take the case of lump sum tax and transfers, right? So क्या होगा? But formula, put the value of C. C will be A plus B YD. A plus B YD plus I constant plus G constant plus NX constant. Here we can also take NX as a constant, export minus import, right? But in other cases, there are also two cases where you can take export import are constant and some part of import may be the function of income, right? Some part of import may be the function of income, right? So export will be given as a constant, but import में यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा change रहेगा. Listen carefully. So what will be the formula, beta? इसको हम समझते हैं. It means in 4-sector model, Jaspreet is asking, one more component will be, yes, one more component will be added, that is net export. The other rest thing same. पहले मैं इसको कर देता हूँ, फिर net export पे जाएंगे. One thing. So what will be the equation derived if we take it the case of lump sum tax? There will be A plus B Y minus lump sum tax T plus, if there are transfers also, add the transfers plus I constant plus G constant plus what is net export beta? Net export is export which is always given constant, but what is import? Minus import. Import is the has a two parts beta. Import has two part. One part is constant and one part of import depends on the income plus my. M means proportion of spent on import, right? Keep whatever the national. See here we are also taking there are some part of import which is constant, that is autonomous import, that is called M bar is autonomous export import, right, which is constant. Even there is a zero level of income, some basic needs, some like petroleum, we have no deposit, very few deposit of the petroleum, and there are many things which we have to import from rest of the world which we have uh, no surplus. So that is the minimum level of import which we must have to import from outside the country. That is the autonomous import. But other part of import depend on our national income. For example, if we spend 20% of national income on imports, so M will be 0.2, and whatever the national income, its 20% will be spent on import, right? If income is 100, then 20 is import. The income 20, income is 200, then 40 rupees spent on import. Is it clear बच्चों? So this is the function of import. तो import का जो function है वो हमने क्या लिया है? Import is some part of import is constant M bar and other part is my. M is the proportion है, ये percentage होगा. जैसे यहाँ पे B था हमारा MPC, ऐसे M stands for what proportion of income is spent on import. Is it clear बच्चों? यहाँ तक clear है या नहीं बताओ मुझे, फिर मैं आगे करूँ. Now you can solve it. You can solve it. A plus B, open up the bracket, by minus T, टैक्सेस हम कांस्टेंट ले रहे हैं, प्लस ट्रांसफर्स भी कांस्टेंट है, प्लस आई भी कांस्टेंट है, प्लस जी भी कांस्टेंट है, प्लस एक्सपोर्ट भी कांस्टेंट है, राइट, माइनस माइनस that constant import and minus my is equal to y, right? Now what will be the value of income? So a t bar, all these are constant, a minus t, taxes plus transfers plus I plus G plus export and even minus import. This is the constant part. And here y minus by minus my. My will become here plus my. So take the y as a common. Y as a common factor, right? So if you take y as a common, then factor out, then it will be 1 minus b plus m. Here, take it all as a autonomous component a bar. Then a bar upon में 1 minus b plus m, that will be the equilibrium level of income. Is it clear बच्चों? Right? This is basically the formula. Right? बाकी जो disposable income है, as the case, or maybe it may be functional, then you take the taxes as a t plus small t by, वो आप ले लोगे, ठीक है, वो क्वेश्चन में गिवन होगा. We are solving one numerical question, then we will move to the right. See, we are doing here illustration 17. Illustration 17. Just put the value, you will get the answer. right? See, in illustration 17, the consumption function, right? ग्राफ एक्सप्लेन कर दूं, देखो व्हाट इज द ग्राफ. ग्राफ इज वेरी सिंपल बच्चे, कुछ भी नहीं करना आपको इसमें, सिर्फ वैल्यू पुट करनी है. मतलब ग्राफ की शेप क्या होगी, सी है. फोर सेक्टर मॉडल, ऑलवेज इनकम लाइन विल बी 45 डिग्री ना. इनकम में क्या होता था अभी तक, सी प्लस एस. इनकम इज इक्वल टू कंजम्पशन प्लस सेविंग प्लस टैक्सेस. ये टैक्सेस कहाँ से आ गया था, थ्री सेक्टर मॉडल में ही आ गया था. आई हैव ऑल्सो ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन यू कि इन थ्री सेक्टर मॉडल y income becomes c plus s plus t. Why t? Because the total national income is the sum of the private income and government income. So private income is split into consumption and saving, and government income is taxes, right? So always income line will be 45 degree. Always income line will be 45 degree, right? It will be 45 degree. Now, consumption, and what is aggregate demand? This is aggregate demand function. It is the sum of c plus I plus g plus nx, but function will remain same. Right? So where it intersect, it will be the equilibrium point. This is income. And now this lower part shows the leakage and injection approach. So what are the leakages? Leakages are, what are the leakages? Saving, taxes and imports. Here import will be added to the leakages. Why, sir? Because as in the circular flow, savings, what the people save, it leak out from the circular flow for the time being. What the people pay to the taxes to the government, it is also leak out. And what the import expenditure done by our people, they are spending their money for import of goods and services. That money go out from the economy also, right? From the circular flow as well as from the economy also. So it is also these three things adding up, savings plus taxes plus import. These are the leakages, and saving function is upward sloping from negative. I have already explained. And these three things are constant. Na? I is taken constant, G is taken constant, export is taken constant. So it is constant in the same way where the aggregate supply ADY approach equilibrium, the same leakages and injection approach is also equilibrium. Right. Sir, why AD is not touching y-axis? It may be some error, right? There is no reason why it is not touching y-axis, right? So it can start from y-axis also, right? तो ग्राफ बनाते समय हो सकता है कुछ error हुआ हो, right? Now see, in this graph, the same thing is explained, but this become very complicated because all four sector has been explained. Right here you can see this c plus I plus g. This is starting from the y-axis, right? So that may be their error in making the graph, right? It doesn't matter. Is it clear, beta? So here you can see this diagram and the above diagram both are same, but this diagram becomes seems to be very complicated just because we have shown here all four sectors, right? Here only consumption line, consumption plus investment, this become two sector model, consumption plus investment plus government, this become three sector model, है ना? Then plus net export also, then it becomes four sector model. So these are the equilibrium, right? So this is three sector equilibrium, this is four sector equilibrium, right? Yes. Sir, why three sector model is greater than four sector model? Because in three sector model, you can see this is the three sector model. Here C plus I plus G. All these become C plus I plus G, right? But in four sector model, यू आर टेकिंग सी प्लस आई प्लस जी प्लस नेट एक्सपोर्ट। नेट एक्सपोर्ट में क्या हो रहा है, इंपोर्ट जो होता है उसका सम पार्ट ऑफ इंपोर्ट इज माइनस, राइट। अभी देखा था आपने इंपोर्ट जो फंक्शन है, व्हाट इज द इंपोर्ट फंक्शन, सी हियर, आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू ऑन द ग्राफ on whiteboard. Listen, why the four sector model is below the three sector model. Listen very carefully. ध्यान से देखेंगे बच्चों. See, here we are taking income line which is 45 degree in all cases. I have already told you in many times, right? This is why income line at 45 degree. And here it is the sum of, क्या बताया मैंने आपको, income is consumption plus saving plus taxes, right? Now, if you take the two sector model, right? If you take the two sector model, then it will be C plus I, बताया था आपको मैंने, consumption plus investment. If you take the three sector model, C plus I plus G, C plus I plus G. This is three sector model. ये parallel जाएगा. This will be parallel to C plus I because G we have taken is constant, right? In all the previous numericals you have seen G is taken to be constant, right? Yes. Bhumika is saying import and export may be negative, or you can say net export may be negative. वो तो एक reason है, but always नहीं होगा ना. जो main reason है इसका, what is the main reason behind this? Listen very carefully, बेटा. C plus I plus G. This is the three sector model. This one is two sector. This one is three sector model. Now in four sector model, the curve will start from above. The curve will start from above. यहाँ से ही होगा start क्योंकि एक्सपोर्ट ऐड हो जाएगा उसमें, नेट एक्सपोर्ट है ना. याद करो नेट एक्सपोर्ट क्या बताया मैंने आपको पीछे. What I have told you, net export is export minus import. एक्सपोर्ट माइनस इंपोर्ट बताया था. एंड व्हाट इज इंपोर्ट सर? एक्सपोर्ट पॉजिटिव है, कांस्टेंट है. एंड इंपोर्ट को हमने क्या लिया था? इंपोर्ट को हमने ऐसे फंक्शन लिया था, कांस्टेंट इंपोर्ट प्लस my, and when you open this bracket, x minus m bar, right, and minus my. This is minus my. m जो है वो क्या हो गया, इसका स्लोप हो गया. और स्लोप जो है वो बेटा नेगेटिव में है. व्हाट इज द स्लोप? स्लोप मींस हाउ इट इज स्लांटिंग, राइट. सो m जो स्लोप है कर्व का वो नेगेटिव है. तो क्या होगा, क्योंकि x इसमें पॉजिटिव ऐड हो रहा है, एक्सपोर्ट ऐड, तो यानी ये कर्व स्टार्ट तो ऊपर से ही होगा, बट this will not parallel to this one, so this will become much steeper, much steeper. So due to which negative import negative m यानी percentage, it will just like this. थोड़ा सा इसको हम और वो कर लेते हैं, रहेगा अपवर्ड ही, बट स्लोप कम हो जाएगा इसका, है ना. ये ऊपर ही होगा, लेकिन इसका जो स्लोप है वो इसके पैरेलल नहीं जाएगा. सो दैट वाई इट विल इंटरसेक्ट अर्लियर देन दिस पॉइंट. तो इसका जो इक्विलिब्रियम है वो यहाँ आ जाएगा, और इसमें इनकम लेवल, नेशनल इनकम लेवल जो इक्विलिब्रियम होगा वो ऑलवेज 3 सेक्टर मॉडल से कम आएगा. देख रहे हो, ये 4 सेक्टर मॉडल है एंड दिस इज इक्विलिब्रियम ऑफ 3 सेक्टर मॉडल. ये 4 सेक्टर मॉडल का है और ये 3 सेक्टर मॉडल है. तो 4 सेक्टर मॉडल इक्विलिब्रियम इनकम विल बी लेस देन द 3 सेक्टर मॉडल ऑफ इक्विलिब्रियम इनकम. Is it clear? So this become much flatter because its slope will less, so the curve will become more flatter than the 3 sector and 2 sector model. That's why the equilibrium point of 4 sector model comes earlier to the equilibrium point of 3 sector model. Is it clear बच्चों? समझ में आया? Yes or no बताओ, so that we can move ahead. We can do the numerical of this, and then after taking a break we will continue. Next we will start our next unit, new unit. Right, you can see 2 sector, 3, 4 sector model graph starting from the above because net export is adding, but due to the negative slope of import function minus my, it becomes flatter. So this is the reason why the equilibrium attain earlier than the 3 sector model. Dikshita, you have asked this question many times, kya? Yes. Yes, Dikshita, you are asking, sir, is 4 sector model relates to mixed economy? No, it doesn't mean कि 4 sector model means mixed economy. Any type of economy, say socialist economy, say capitalist economy, whether it is socialist, whether it is capitalist, whether it is mixed economy, any type of economy which have the relationship, economic relationship with rest of the world is called open economy or 4 sector model. Is it clear? Right? So Dikshita, you must note it down that 4 sector model is concerned to mixed economy always. Is it not the, it is not the case. 4 sector economy or open economy is that economy which have the economic relation with rest of the world, financial relation with rest of the world, right? Whether it is socialist, capitalist or mixed. So any type of economy can be open economy, 4 sector model economy. Is it clear, Dikshita? Yes, we are going to the numerical beta. Himanshu, sir, there is word used in question empirical consumption, but is meant here empirical. Okay. See, empirical consumption means whatever the consumption function we are already using, that is the consumption which depends on the income, right? Empirical consumption means the consumption function of the income. So whatever the consumption function we are taking in all questions, C is equal to A plus BY, that is empirical consumption function, right? So it just twisted the line so that the student get confused, but there is no need to confuse because empirical consumption means consumption function where one part of the consumption is autonomous and the other part depends on income, right? So you can say empirical consumption function means referring to the relationship between consumption, expenditure and income, right? So A plus BY. Is it clear, beta? Yes, yes, Jaspreet. It is upward sloping because there is export is adding, but because import is minus, and the slope of import is also minus, minus small m, right? So due to the low slope, fall in slope of the curve becomes flatter, right? So come to the illustration 17. Here the consumption function is given 40 plus 0.8 YD, simple. I investment constant 60 crores. G government spending 40 crore. Export 58 constant. Import here is not constant वाला part नहीं दिया इन्होंने. Only इन्होंने कौन सा part लिया है इसमें? MY, right? So it means they are saying कि uh, autonomous import is zero here, right? So autonomous import ये zero ले रहे हैं. So whatever the value is given, we will put it in this, right? See, Sayed is saying कि sir, when three sector model is giving more equilibrium level of income, then why are the most of the economies in the world are four sector economy? See, क्या होता है? Just not only the sharing of the factor income is the purpose of the four sector economy. Four sector economy means when you open up your economy to the rest of the world. Listen very carefully, student. What the aspect you are studying in this chapter, this is wholly concerned to the income, national income, right? So your focus after studying this chapter, this unit of national income, mainly concentrate on the income level, income side, right? But I have already told you that national economic welfare or economic development is not concerned only with the increase in income level, right? I have already told you economic growth or economic welfare are two different things. So when income is increasing, that is economic growth, but economic welfare, economic development will happen when the overall performance of the economy of the people, living standard of the people will increase, right? So four sector model, by meaning of four sector model, we mean we are sharing our customs, we are sharing our values, we are sharing our technology, we are sharing our right relationship, friendly relationship, right? So all these things, even one economy, if it is lacking behind in the technology, then if the economy is four sector model, open up economy, it can learn the advanced technology from the other countries, right? That why in the present era, the most of the economies prefer to be being open up four sector economy rather than closed economy, three sector or two sector. Is it clear? Right? So you are just focusing on the income side, na? But the growth, development, and welfare is not strictly related to the income. Is it clear, Sayed? So now we have to find the find the equilibrium income, then other part we will do. I am writing all these things given, then we will solve it. Illustration 17. Consumption 40 plus 0.8 YD. Tax 0.1 Y. Investment 60 crores. Government spendings 40 crores. Exports 58 crores. Imports 0.05 Y. right? These things are given. Now just put all these things to the equations. What is the equation, sir? AD is equal to Y. What is AD, sir? C plus I plus G plus NX is equal to Y. What is C, sir? 40 plus 0.8 YD. What is YD? Y minus taxes. Taxes are 0.1 Y plus transfers, but transfers are not given, so take it 0. Ignore it. Plus I is 60 plus G is 40. Very simple, बच्चों. Plus net export. Net export is export minus import. Export is given 58 minus import is given 0.05 Y. Is it clear, बच्चों? यहाँ तक कोई doubt? Is there any doubt till this equation so that we can move ahead? See, solve the equation, बच्चों. 40 plus 60, 100 plus 40, 140 plus open the bracket. Now 0.8 y minus 0.1 y 0.9 y plus 58 open this bracket 58 minus 0.05 y is equal to y. Now 140 plus 0.72 y plus 58. तो 140 plus 58 ऐड कर लेते हैं. 198 कर देते हैं इसको. 58 मैंने ऐड कर दिया. Minus 0.05 y. So here 198 plus 0.72 minus 0.05. 0.67 y. Y minus 0.67 y 198. Now here the value 198 is equal to 1 minus 0.67, 0.33 y. So what will be the value of y? 198 divided by 0.33. It is 600. So the equilibrium level of income is 600. बच्चा. Is it clear? Right? Is there any doubt? You can ask right now. फिर मैं इसका next part करेंगे हम क्वेश्चन का. Is it clear or any doubt, बच्चों? No. Let's see. What is the other part of the question? Next part of the question is find out the equilibrium level of income. नेट एक्सपोर्ट. अभी हमें नेट एक्सपोर्ट भी निकालना है, तो पहले नेट एक्सपोर्ट निकाल लेते हैं. व्हाट इज नेट एक्सपोर्ट? Second part you have to calculate here is net export, value of net export. Very simple. See, what is the formula of net export? Net export is equal to export minus import. Export is given by 58, right? Minus import was given 0.05 y. Now y we have already find. Put the value of y 0.05 of 600, right? That is 30. So 58 minus 30. So net export is 28 crore. The value of net export is 28 crore. Is it clear? Yes. Yes, in exam you have to write these small while solving the numerical question, beta. Why, Himanshu, while solving the numerical question, you must have to use this symbol C plus I plus G and X, because if you write the full form, it will become more complicated and the equation will become very much complicated and very lengthy, right? So net export is 28 here. Now, what is the third part of the question, sir? What is third part? See, third part become now very easy. बहुत easy हो जाएगा क्योंकि हमने net export already निकाल लिया है. We have already find out the net export, right? Now in third part, net export, if export were to increase by 6.25, right? पहले हमें net export निकालना था equilibrium level पे, वो निकाल लिया. Now net export, if export were increased by 6.25, right? So increase the value of export, so it will become, तो देखो, see, again we have to find net export, but when export increase by 6.25, तो न्यू एक्सपोर्ट क्या हो जाएगा? 58 हमारा पुराना एक्सपोर्ट था, 58 प्लस 6.25, 58 प्लस 6.25, it will become 64.25. बट इंपोर्ट तो सेम रहेगा, इंपोर्ट में कोई चेंज नहीं है. सो इंपोर्ट विल बी 0.05 of 600, that is 30. So new net export will be 64.25 minus 30. That will be 34.25 crore. 34.25 crore. Is it clear, बच्चों? Just a minute. अच्छा, ओके. इक्विलिब्रियम लेवल भी तो चेंज हो जाएगा. इक्विलिब्रियम लेवल भी चेंज हो जाएगा. सी, here the export you have to calculate it again, बेटा. यहाँ तक हमारा एक्सपोर्ट हो गया 64.25, राइट? 64.25, but 600 not win. You will find the new level of equilibrium income. So M you will take 0.05, right? You will take 0.05. Now we will do again the third part from the starting. Yani means again you will find in third part. This is the third part. So in third part you get again. Just a minute, bachcha. What happened? We are doing illustration 17 now. Where is 17? Just a minute. Just a minute, student. There is a problem in whiteboard. I'm not able to get the board. Just a minute, बच्चे. See. Shit. Listen, बच्चों. Okay, in the illustration 17, so far we have calculated the first part, that is income level was 600, right? In second part, you have calculated the net export, that was what the value was. Net export was 58, right? That was 50. No, we have find this value, na? What was the net export? 60, 28, right? So net export was 28. 58 minus 30, right? It was 58 minus 30. That was 28, right? Now in third part, we have given the export value of export increased by 6.25. So 58 was the export plus 6.25. It becomes 64.25. Now, why we cannot find out the value? Why we cannot find out the value directly net export if export is increased? Because when export has increased, so the equilibrium level of income will also increase, right? क्योंकि equilibrium level of income which you have calculated in the first part, that was 600, and that 600 you have put it into the second part in the value of why you get the net export, right? But if any component get changed, export, government spending, in investment, right, consumption, autonomous, any component of the whole equation get changed, then the equilibrium level will also get changed. Keep in mind, bache, if what I have said, if any component of the whole equation, whether it is investment I, whether it is G, whether it is taxes, whether it is transfer, whether it is export, import, right? If any component get changed, then the equilibrium level will get changed. So you have to find out the new equilibrium level, right? By taking export as a 64.25. So what you can say, uh, if you have the इक्वेशन फर्स्ट, तो उसमें आप सिंपली पुट कर सकते थे, नहीं तो मैं दोबारा निकाल रहा हूं यहाँ पर कि हमारी कंजम्पशन इक्वेशन जो थी सी, वही सेम सी प्लस आई प्लस जी प्लस एन एक्स, राइट, इज इक्वल टू Y. So what was the value of C, बच्चों? C consumption function was 40 plus 0.8 Y, है ना, YD. So it was 40 plus 0.8 yd minus t, tax is 0.1y directly I am putting here. Or investment was given as a 60, government spending 40, 60 40 same रहेगा, 60 plus 40 plus net export. So export is now 64.25 minus import. Import is 0.05 of y, right? Is equal to y. Now see, 60, 40, 100, 140 plus 0.72y and also plus 64.25 also 140 plus 64.25 204 it you can take it 204.25 ठीक है जी minus 0.05y is equal to y 0.72 minus 204.25 plus 0.72 ये सेम ही रहेगा 0.72 minus 0.05 that is 0.67. Now y minus 0.67y 204.25. Here it is same 0.33y, no change. But here the value is changed, na? So the equilibrium level of income get changed. So y 204.25 divided by 0.33. It will be 618.93994 we can take. So new equilibrium level is 618.94. Right? Now put this value of y to get the net export. Right? Now put this value to of y to get the net export. So it will be now net export will be export minus import. Export is given new export was 64.25 minus import 0.05 of income 618.94, right? Into 0.05 that is 30.94798 ले लेते हैं 64.25 minus 30.95 33.3. So net export is this, right? So it will be, so listen very carefully, please note it down student. If there will be any component get changed in the equation, whether it is autonomous consumption, whether it is autonomous investment, saving, investment, government spending, tech, right? Anything. So you will have to calculate again the equilibrium level of income, right? Where 619 is 204.25 divided by 0.33. 618.94 ही आ रहा है बेटा, आप दोबारा कर लो. Akshay, solve it again beta. It is 618.94. Or because I have rounded off here 204, है ना? This is the value 204.25. You do it again, right? Is still there any doubt you can ask beta? right? Okay. In module it is given 619 kya? Let me check. Okay. Right. So it may be here mistaken, right? तो मॉड्यूल में शायद वो गलत दिया है. तो I have also checked 2 times बेटा. It is 618.94, right? See, this is all about this unit. But last thing I am going to tell you, someone has asked, sir, how investment multiplier has to be found in 4 sector model. So there is a formula in 4 sector model. The multiplier, if there is investment multiplier, because see, investment multiplier will be same in 4 sector model. The investment multiplier formula will be same, right? Because whatever you paid for the import, it doesn't affect to the disposable income ना. Listen very carefully बेटा, मैं आपको यहाँ पर 2 चीजें बता रहा हूँ. Please note it down. Please note it down. क्या सर? In 4 sector model, one of you have asked कि in 4 sector model what will be the formula of investment multiplier. So investment multiplier in 4 sector model will be same beta. क्या? That will be 1 upon 1 minus b into 1 minus t if tax rate is given. If again I'm saying if tax rate is given, then it will be this, or if tax rate is not given, then simple 1 upon 1 minus b. Sir, why not the effect of my? Because in import it is also na m by m minus m bar minus my. So why we are not subtracting this? है ना? Many of you have this in your mind, right? Yes. Same as in 3 sector model chalega beta. 1 minus t will be taken if their tax rate is given. If tax rate is not given, take the 1 minus b. M क्यों नहीं affect करेगा? Because listen very carefully. Because taxes are paid from the income to get the disposable income, but the proportion of income spent on import, that is small m, the fraction of income spent on import, it doesn't goes through the in national income or falling the disposable income. So it doesn't affect the disposable income. So there will be no effect of that on the investment multiplier. Is it clear, bachcho? But here are 2 different things you must have to learn. What is 2 different things, sir? First one is कि if it is asked to find trade balance in any question, to find the trade balance. So or the other name it may be either said trade balance or trade balance, right? So you can और बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड भी बोल सकते हैं इसको यार, ठीक है. ट्रेड बैलेंस और बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड और बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड. तो दिस इज नथिंग बट नेट एक्सपोर्ट. This is simple net export, export minus import, right? So need not to get confused ki if it says ki find out the trade balance or balance of trade, that is the same thing net export, because trade balance is the difference between export and import, right? Or balance of trade is known as a export minus import. So this is same thing. The another term which many times being asked in a 4 sector model numerical questions, that is to find out the foreign trade multiplier. This is different concept. To find out foreign trade multiplier. So note its formula. Foreign trade multiplier will be 1 upon 1 minus b plus m. Note it down. 1 upon 1 minus b plus m. So what is b here? B is MPC. And what is m here? Import it can be say ki fraction of import of income, right? Fraction of income spent on import, right? Spent on import. Is it clear, beta? How it is derived? No need to the derivation of this, right? Just you have to learn it. The formula of trade multiplier, right? Now we are going to solve one last question, right? Then we will take the break for 10 minutes and we'll start the second unit, right? The last question illustration where this trade multiplier and trade balance has to solve, that is illustration 18. See, in illustration 18, an economy is characterized by the following equation: consumption function 60 plus 0.9 YD, investment is 10, government spending 10, taxes is 0, right? Export 20, import function is 10 plus 0.05y. Here 10 is autonomous import and this one is the function to income. First of all, you have to find the equilibrium level of income. I think you can easily calculate it, right? See, in illustration 18, consumption function is given 60 plus 0.9 YD. 60 plus 0.9 YD. I10 G10 T0. I10 G10 T0. Export is given 20 and import is given 10 plus 0.05. Now, first part to calculate equilibrium level of income, that is AD is equal to Y. What is AD? C plus I plus G plus NX. Consumption is 60 plus 0.9 YD. Y minus taxes is 0. So here, and there is no transfers also. So you can say Y is here YD. Plus I 10 plus G 10 plus net export 20 minus 10 plus 0.05y. Here y is also is equal to y. Solve this. 60, 70, 80 plus 20, 100 plus 0.9y minus 10. open this bracket, minus 10 minus 0.05y. 100 minus 10, 90. 0.9 minus 0.05, 0.85. 0.85 y. Take it to the other side. Right. So 90 is equal to y minus 0.85 y. Point 0.15 y. 90 divided by 0.15. 600. So here income level is 600. Right. So this is the first part of illustration 18, where we have to get the equilibrium level of income, and that is 600. Right. What is the second part of the question of the illustration? Second part is find the calculate the trade balance. See, calculate the trade balance and foreign trade multiplier. Right. So trade balance is net export. Trade balance is net export. In second part, trade balance, which is net export. Export minus import. Export is given as, I think, 10, 20. Export is given as 20. Import was given 10 plus 10 minus, sorry, 10 plus 0.05. यही था ना? हाँ, 10 plus 0.05y. Now put the value of income as 20 minus 10 minus 0.05y. That is 10 minus 0.05. Put the value of y 600. Now 5% of 600, 30. 10 minus 30, that is minus 20. So there is a trade deficit. See, here trade balance is negative ना, तो अगर trade balance आपका negative आ रहा है तो आप इसको लिखेंगे, you will write it trade deficit. It is trade deficit minus 20. So trade balance को आप balance देखो, इसको लिखने का तरीका होता है, मैं बता देता हूं आपको. There is a way to write it. Deficit is also, so even I have also written wrong here, right? If minus 20 I am written here, I am writing here minus 20, I will write trade balance. So trade balance is minus 20. Since the trade balance is negative, so you can say the trade is deficit. So you will write is trade deficit, और ट्रेड डेफिसिट आप 20 लिखेंगे, 20 करोड़ या जो भी हो. आप यहाँ माइनस नहीं लगाएंगे. इफ यू हैव रिटन हियर डेफिसिट, यू नीड नॉट टू पुट द साइन ऑफ द माइनस, because deficit itself say it is loss, it is negative. So either you write it minus 20, so write it trade balance is equal to minus 20. Or if you are writing it as a trade deficit, then you will write it as a simple 20. Trade deficit is 20. And if it is plus, then it is called trade surplus. If positive, then it is called trade surplus. Is it clear, बच्चों? Is it clear or any doubt you can ask? Now the third part of this illustration is to find the trade balance multiplier. Trade balance multiplier. What is the formula? 1 upon 1 minus b plus m. What is the value of b here? Consumption function में देखो, C in the consumption function b 0.9 and m is 0.05 है ना? 0.9 and 0.05. Simply put the values. 1 minus 0.9 plus 0.05. So it will be 1 upon 1.05 minus 0.9. So it will be 1.05 minus 0.9, that is 0.15. So 1 divided by 0.15, 6.666, or you can say 67. So this is the trade balance multiplier. 0.67 is the trade balance multiplier. Is anyone has any doubt, you can ask right now, right? Otherwise, we are going to take the break for the 10 minutes, and after that we will start after the break the new unit, that is second unit we have to start, because first unit, the 2 chapters of first unit are completed here. Yeah, foreign trade multiplier, sorry. Trade balance तो second part था ना, I have mixed up the second third part, sorry. This is the foreign trade multiplier. Actual में ऐसी कोई टर्म ही नहीं है, right? So is there any doubt बच्चों? Say yes or no. Okay. So let us take the break for the 10 minutes, and after that we will start our next unit. Okay. So welcome back, students. Now we are going to start our chapter number 2, that is public finance, right? And in chapter 2, we are going to start today unit 1, that is fiscal function and overview, right? First of all, you must know about, what is the meaning of, broadly speaking, public finance. What is the meaning of, first of all, you must learn what is the meaning of public finance. The public finance means the expenditure made by the government, right? Whatever the expenditure made by the government, and the government, whenever make the expenditure, so government has to earn that income. Now, how and what is the major source of income of the government? Can anyone tell, bachcho, what is the major source of income for the government? There are so many sources. There are profit, dividend income, but the major source of income of the government is, say, so no one has replied yet, right? So the major source of income you must know is the taxes, right? Taxes, whether it is direct taxes or indirect taxes, right? That is called revenue receipts for the one of the revenue receipts of the government. Tax revenue भी हम इसको बोलते हैं. It is also called tax revenue, right? Tax, very good. Taxes, ठीक है. Right. So now see, so the major source of income for the government is taxes, but keep in your mind always that the taxes is not the only source of income for the government, right? The government is getting uh, the income from the other sources always, also like capital receipts in the form of borrowings, or in the form of interest income, dividend income, right? Profit. So here we are going to discuss what is the public finance. So first of all, whenever the government represent budget, because the first unit is discussing about the fiscal function. What is the fiscal word here, sir? Please note it down, student. Whenever you listen the word fiscal, you must in your mind that is budget, right? That is budget. So fiscal function means what the function government exactly doing through the budget. And in your class 12, student, please note it down. In your class 12 macroeconomics, the chapter was government budget. In that chapter, you have learnt about some objectives of the government budget, right? So basically, the main three objectives of government budget we are going to discuss here in the fiscal function. So first of all, what is public finance? That is the finance raised by the government and the expenditure made by the government, right? Then see what is the overlook of this unit. First of all, public finance. Public finance में मैंने आपको बताया the major source of income for the government taxes, and there are also some other things. So these are the fiscal. Fiscal means budget. And whenever the annual budget represented by the government, I have already told you, every year in India, the government budget is represented in the parliament on the first working day of the February, right? We have already discussed about this in previous sessions. So the government budget represented by the government in India every year on first working day of the right, first working day of the February. तो फरवरी की फर्स्ट तारीख को, फर्स्ट वर्किंग डे पे, वेदर वर्किंग डे होना चाहिए, छुट्टी नहीं होनी चाहिए, ऑलरेडी ना हो, तो द बजट इज now represented in parliament in India. But this new date is starting from financial year 2017. Earlier it was on the last working day of the February, right? See, Krishna, what is public finance? The public finance is basically the finance raised and spent by the public. Public means government. whatever the sources of income of the government raise fund from income from taxes and fines, penalties, interest, dividend, right? And this income government spent on, कहाँ खर्च करती है गवर्नमेंट? इसको स्पेंड करती है डेवलपमेंट एक्टिविटीज पे, वेलफेयर एक्टिविटीज पे, राइट? सो और एक और है, गवर्नमेंट को फाइनेंस और कहां से आता है? पब्लिक बोरोइंग्स। मेनी टाइम्स जब गवर्नमेंट का बजट, वेन एवर द गवर्नमेंट रिप्रेजेंट द डेफिसिट बजट, मीन्स government expenditures are more than government income, then government has to borrow from the public also, public borrowings, right? So all these sources of income and expenditures, sources of expenditure, this is called public finance, how the government get money and how, where the government spend that money, right? So basically fiscal functions, we will cover here three type of fiscal function, and these three functions are basically what? These are the objectives of government budget. तो गवर्नमेंट बजट के जो मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं तीन, एलोकेशन फंक्शन, रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन फंक्शन एंड स्टेबलाइजेशन फंक्शन, हम ये डिस्कस करेंगे। मैं पहले आपको शॉर्ट में बता देता हूं व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ एलोकेशन फंक्शन। एलोकेशन फंक्शन मींस मेनी टाइम्स when the markets are not working efficiently, right? You have learned in microeconomic also. Microeconomics may you have learned ki where the equilibrium level get. The equilibrium level get where market demand and market supply of commodity are equal, right? And recently we have finished the second unit of chapter 1, right? The equilibrium in national income equilibrium, determination of equilibrium of national income, where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, right? But this is how this is equilibrium attained automatically without any disturbance of the government. But many times we see the equilibrium is very difficult to attain, where there is unequal distribution of goods and services. In that time, the government has to intervene. The government has to interfere, and resources are to be reallocated, resources be allocated. Then redistribution function, right? Then stabilization function. So one by one, we will discuss. First of all, in introduction, the following are the few headlines which appeared recently in the leading business dailies, right? कि एक leading business कोई newspaper है, उसकी कुछ headlines है. Why these headlines are given? Because from this you will get better understand the idea of public finance. First one is startups will be exempted from income tax for 3 years as a part of benefits being given to entrepreneurs establishing startups, right? ये आपने देखा भी है, सुना भी है कि गवर्नमेंट हमारे इंडिया में वैसे भी गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रही है, मोस्टली गिविंग टू द बेनिफिट्स टू द न्यू स्टार्टअप्स, राइट? कि फॉर 3 years they need not to pay the income tax. Another headline is government looking at subsidizing the R&D, means research and development, to boost the foreign investment. If foreign companies are investing in India and they are spending their money in research and development activities, the government will give subsidies to them. On 20th May 2020, the Monetary Policy Committee. What is Monetary Policy Committee, bachcho? Monetary Policy Committee is the committee of RBI, Reserve Bank of India, which actually revise the monetary policy. What is monetary policy? Where you have learned CRR, SLR, and bank rate, repo rate are revised, whether to increase or decrease, right? So on this was the news on 2020. On May 22, the Monetary Policy Committee is an off-cycle meeting of the members decide to cut key interest rate to make banks increasing lending to mitigate the impact of कि COVID-19 की वजह से जो बिजनेस और इंडस्ट्रीज को इम्पैक्ट आया था, जो डाउनफॉल आया था, to recover that downfall, the committee has decided to reduce the interest rate so that business community can take the loan borrowings at a committee that form the monetary policy, and this committee is the internal committee of RBI, right? So the committee has decided to decrease the tax rate, cut the interest rate, so that the business community can take the loan at a lower rate of interest, right? As the government announces 3 lakh crores collateral free loan scheme for the business, free food kits and essential groceries supplied government during COVID-19. What these headlines signifies here? अगर आप इन सभी स्टेटमेंट्स को देखेंगे तो इन सारी स्टेटमेंट्स में क्या चीज निकल के आ रही है? Each of the above statement represent a protective response on the part of government. Means government is giving protection to the industries. Government are giving boost to the industries. Government is giving providing the benefits to the industries so that more industries can be set up, more enterprises can be set up, right? Off cycle meeting means not routine meeting, right? Anjana, Anjana beta, the on off cycle meeting means not routine meeting, right? So one एक तो होता है कि routine meeting है कि every year है ना, ये semi annually the meeting. Off मतलब which was not in routine and the government has to held the meeting in between. ठीक है? That is the meaning. So in each of these statements, you can say the government is providing the proactive response, है ना? And government is being protective to the industrial sector so that the new industries can be set up, more industries can be set up, the industrial sector can more invest in the market, right? Such type of incentives, listen very carefully, student. Such type of incentives provided by the government to the enterprises is why basically to boost up the industries in India. And whenever the industries will be boosted up, then there will be more employment in the economy. More employment means more national income in the economy, more consumption level in the economy, more aggregate demand. All these will be go up, right? And it will signifies the boom or है ना, in the economy, will leads to the boom in the economy. What exactly is government planning to? तो ये जो आपने 5 points पढ़े ऊपर न्यूज की headlines, what the government is planning to achieve here? On close examination, अगर हम इसको बहुत बारीकी से closely observe करें, we can find that first 2 steps are intent to boost the innovation and entrepreneurship. Next one is policy response on seeking revive business so that the business due to the COVID-19 situation, but the business got the setback, these business and industries come back to the track. The government does not expect the economic variable underlying the above mentioned phenomena to function automatically, right? So it means Pranav is saying, sir, but proactive responses are well planned, but these are as per the requirement. So these should be reactive response. No, these are not reactive response. Proactive response means ki what, yes, proactive, what are basically to the well planned, right? So whenever government is saying all, we are not you are only concentrating on those points where the COVID-19 has given. Listen, if you read the first 2 points, right, where government is giving to the 3 years concession to the taxes to startup companies. So whenever government start the concept of startup, है ना, government started the policy strategies of the Make in India project, है ना, startup project, stand up India project. All these projects are well planned. These are not for the requirement of this, right? So when the government started Make in India project, when the government started startup project, are these the project or action taken all of sudden? No, these action taken due to the pre-planned activities, na? Well-planned activities. So for these 2 points, there the word has been used proactive. Is it clear, Pranam? Right? So expect the economic variable. So here it means the government is saying that we cannot leave the market on free market forces or demand and supply always. The government sometime have to interfere in the market, intervene in the market, right? So we cannot say that no market forces, yeah, no free market economy is working. There is free market economy, automatically demand and supply are get balanced, but whenever the government feel need, the government can intervene, right? And this is basically the part of the fiscal policy, right? So we have experience in our day-to-day life that though government at various level impose many rules and regulation, right? रोज नए rules आते हैं, जैसे GST was introduced by the government, है ना? Demonetization किया government ने, पुरानी currency हरा दी, and many such type of decisions government take, है ना? Takes to regulate the economy, right? Some matters still go unregulated, but still there are some matter where the no action, no laws are action taken by the government. Similarly, most of the goods and services that we consume are provided to us by the private sector, है ना? So where the private sector are being working in the economy, they decide the price of their product. So there no interference of the government, but it doesn't mean free market economy. You have learned about that. You have read about that. Ki free market economies are the economies where government doesn't interfere in the market forces of demand and supply, operations of the market forces of demand and supply. But it doesn't mean at present, in the present era, that government will never interfere. Whenever government feel need, whenever government feel that there is the need of the intervention, the things are not going smoothly, the things are not going for the benefit of all the people living below poverty line, the government must interfere, right? So these interference of the government through the budget policies, fiscal policies, right? These are the part of the fiscal system. Now, what is the role of government in an economic system, right? We shall first consider why economic system should be in place. What is economic system, beta? Economic system is the system where the goods and services are being produced and are being sold, है ना? यही लिखा है इसमें, देखो. The basic economic problem, first and one of the most important economic problem in India, central problem you have learned in microeconomics, what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, right? What is the basic economic problem which is faced by each and every economy? That is problem of scarcity, means resources are limited, right? So every economy, whether it is a developed economy, developing economy, underdeveloped economy, all the economies are facing the problem of the scarcity of resources, because resources will always be scarce, limited in front of the human bonds, right? So problem of scarcity arises from the fact that on account of qualitative as well as quantitative constraint, right? So quantitative and qualitative, both are constraints are limited. Constraints means limitation. There are both types of limitations there. The resources available to any society cannot produce all economic goods and services, right? Scarcity means shortage. So all economic goods cannot be produced, and all the needs of all the person of the all the people of the society can be fulfilled at the same time simultaneously. Therefore, an economic system should exist to answer the basic questions such as what, how, and for whom to produce. And now, what is the meaning of economic system? The economic system means socialist economy, capitalist economy, or mixed economy, right? Please note it down. What type of economic system they are saying, they are talking here. They are mentioned here the economic system word for whether the economy should adopt socialist economy where all the resources must be under the control of the government, right? Or whether it may be a capitalist economy where all the resources are under the control of private sector, or whether it should be a mixed economy where both market, any free market forces, and government simultaneously work, right? So first of all, any government, any country, any society has to make a decision. Has to make a decision whether it should follow the socialist, capitalist, or mixed economic system. Is it clear? Adam Smith is often described as a bold advocate of free market economy. Listen, Adam Smith was the one of the traditional economists, right? Or you can say the classical economist. We have So Adam Smith is one of the classical economists, and he always advocate. He was in favor of the free market system. And what is the free market system? It means minimum or no government interference, no government activities. So Adam Smith always being focused on that the economy must be handled by the private sector, right? And the government should have minimum control, minimum interference. That is called free market economy. But however, Smith saw an important resources allocation. But उसने क्या बोला minimum? ये नहीं बोला no government activities, right? Adam Smith also not mentioned that there should be no government interference, right? He said minimal government activities, right? So Adam Smith was also aware of that कि sometimes important resources allocation role for the government to be handled, right? For example, national defense, right? National defense, you cannot put the defense system in the private hands, right? Maintenance of the justice, rule of law, all these highly beneficial to public institution, all these activities, even Adam Smith was in favor that these activities should be in the hand of the government, right? Since 1930s, more specifically as a consequence of Great Depression, we have already explained it. Yes, Pranav is saying quantitative तो समझ आया, but how there is qualitative constants. Qualitative constants means कि क्वांटिटेटिव तो आपको समझ में आ गया, रिसोर्सेज नहीं है, लैंड की शॉर्टेज है, लेबर की शॉर्टेज है, क्वालिटी. क्वालिटेटिव मींस there is lack of the educational facilities, there are lack of the health medical facilities, right? So that the living standard of the people can be raised, right? So these are the qualitative constants ना. किसी भी इकोनॉमी के पास if there is not a better education system, not medical system, so they will degrade the living standard of the people, they will affect negatively on the health of the people. These are the qualitative constants, right? If there is a caste system, right, there is untouchability or backwardness, all these are the qualitative constants. Is it clear? Right? So right, good. So Great Depression, we have already discussed about that this in the previous session. So when the Great Depression came into the in 1930s की बात करें, 1929 to 33, there was a Great Depression. After that, the J.M. Keynes gave his theory of the equilibrium and determination of equilibrium level of income and employment. So there it was very much clear that the government has to interfere. Government intervention is necessary because if you leave the market on the free market forces, there will be such type of situation of the depression which was faced by the whole world in 1930s as a Great Depression, right? So traditional function state described above have been supplemented with refer as a economic function, also called fiscal function or public finance function. Means government has to intervene, government has to control these things whenever it is necessary, right? So this is now Richard Musgrave in his classic, he was also classical economics, 1959, the theory of public finance. His book was the theory of public finance, introduced a branch taxonomy. That taxonomy we are going to study here, right? No, No need to write the whole, but there are some words, uh, so these terms you have to be mentioned there, right? Baki, in while explaining this, you can use your language, right? But the language should be must relevant to the concept, right? उसका ध्यान रखना है आपको. Yes, you can write with your understanding, but the terminologies है ना, ये आपको use करनी है. So the three branches taxonomy, and these three branches taxonomy, what is the meaning of taxonomy here? The role of government means these three main roles of the government should be there, right? Mentioned by the Richard Musgrave. And these three वो कौन से हैं जो हमने ऊपर देखे हैं? कौन से? Resource allocation, income redistribution, and macroeconomic stabilization, right? So these three taxonomy, yeah, these three functions we have to discuss here. Yes, MCQs and subjective, objective, subjective both will be there, right? Now the first function is allocation function, right? The first function is allocation function. Okay. So we will continue from this function. These three functions we have to cover in this unit, bacho. So these three functions, the first function allocation function, second one is redistribution function, and third one is stabilization function. We will continue from the allocation of function in next session, bacha. Is it clear? If you have any doubt, you can ask right now. Is there any doubt? You may ask. No? Okay. Right. Welcome, beta. Welcome. So we will continue in next session. Till then, take care of yourself, bacha.